She only has power over you when you value her more than yourself. The moment you put your peace, your purpose, and your self-respect first, everything changes. Suddenly, the attention you chase no longer matters. The approval you seek no longer controls you, and the people who once took you for granted begin to see you differently. The question is, how much of yourself have you sacrificed just to keep someone who never truly values you? Number 1. Protect your peace. The moment you start valuing your inner peace more than her approval, your entire life begins to change. Many men spend years giving their energy to women who constantly create confusion, mixed signals, emotional pressure, and unnecessary drama, hoping that if they just try harder, become more understanding, or sacrifice a little more of themselves, she will finally appreciate them, respect them, and choose them the way they deserve. But that day often never comes, because people rarely value what is constantly available and endlessly accommodating. She knows she can disappear and return whenever she wants. She knows she can ignore your messages and still receive your attention. She knows she can give you the bare minimum while expecting maximum effort, and every time you tolerate it, you silently teach her how to treat you. The painful truth is that many men do not lose their peace because of a woman. They lose it because they place her above themselves. They wake up thinking about her, go to sleep thinking about her, analyze every message, every delay, every change in behavior, while their own goals, purpose, health, and future slowly move to the background. Peace disappears when your happiness depends on someone else's choices. Peace disappears when her mood determines your mood. Peace disappears when you spend more time managing her behavior than managing your own life. A strong man understands that he cannot control what she says, what she does, who she chooses, or how she behaves, but he can control his response. He can control where he places his attention. He can control what he tolerates. He can control whether he allows someone else's actions to destroy his emotional stability. When she acts cold, he remains calm. When she becomes distant, he remains focused. When she tries to provoke a reaction, he refuses to hand over control of his emotions. This is not weakness, this is strength. Many men believe strength is proving a point, winning an argument, or forcing someone to understand them. Real strength is maintaining your peace when circumstances tempt you to abandon it. Think about how much of your life changes when peace becomes your priority. You stop chasing explanations from people who clearly do not respect you. You stop wasting weeks trying to decode behavior that should be obvious. You stop begging for consistency from someone who continuously shows you inconsistency. You begin protecting your time, your energy, your attention, and your self-respect like valuable assets because they are valuable assets. The uncomfortable reality is that some women become accustomed to receiving effort they never earn. She expects you to keep showing up no matter how she behaves because she believes you fear losing her more than you value yourself. The moment that changes, the entire dynamic changes. When you stop reacting emotionally to every disappointment, you become harder to manipulate. When you stop accepting treatment that disturbs your peace, you become harder to control. When you stop seeking validation from people who freely withhold it, you become stronger than you have ever been. A peaceful man is dangerous because he cannot be easily pulled into chaos. He thinks clearly. He acts deliberately. He makes decisions based on values instead of emotions. He understands that no relationship, no attraction, and no temporary excitement is worth sacrificing his mental clarity. If someone consistently brings confusion into your life, the answer is not to become more patient. The answer is to create distance. If someone repeatedly shows disrespect, the answer is not another conversation. The answer is stronger boundaries. If someone continuously takes from you while giving little in return, The answer is not greater effort. The answer is valuing yourself enough to step back. Your peace is not something you earn after everything goes right. It is something you protect, regardless of what happens around you. The day you understand this is the day you stop living at the mercy of other people's choices and start living with genuine strength, confidence, and freedom. Number 2. Know your worth. The biggest tragedy in a man's life is not losing a woman, it is losing himself while trying to keep her. Many men slowly abandon their standards, their confidence, their purpose, and their identity because they become consumed by the desire to be chosen by someone who keeps proving she does not value them properly. They begin negotiating against themselves. They accept behavior they know is wrong. They overlook disrespect they would never tolerate from anyone else. They stay silent when their instincts tell them something is not right, all because they fear that standing up for themselves may cause her to leave. What they do not realize is that every time they betray their own standards, they pay a price that is far greater than losing any relationship. They lose respect for themselves. A man who knows his worth does not need to announce it. He demonstrates it through what he accepts and what he refuses to accept. He understands that his value does not rise because she approves of him, and it does not fall because she ignores him. His value exists independently of her opinions. This mindset changes everything. Suddenly her attention is no longer the prize. Her validation is no longer the prize. The prize becomes maintaining your dignity, your purpose, and your self-respect. Many men spend years trying to convince a woman to see their value while neglecting to see it themselves. They become available at all times. They prioritize her needs over their own. They sacrifice opportunities, ambitions, and personal growth, hoping their loyalty will eventually be rewarded. Yet people often respect what has standards and overlook what is always available. She may claim she wants a strong man, but when a man continuously tolerates behavior that violates his boundaries, she sees weakness, whether she admits it or not. This is why knowing your worth is not about arrogance. It is about understanding that your life has meaning beyond any single person. You are not here to earn basic respect. You are not here to beg for honesty. You are not here to convince someone to appreciate your value. Those things should come naturally from people who genuinely care about you. The moment you truly understand your worth, desperation begins to disappear. You stop competing for attention. You stop comparing yourself to other men. You stop wondering whether you are enough for someone who continually leaves you questioning your place in her life. Instead, you start asking a different question. Is she enough for the life you are trying to build? Is she bringing peace or confusion? Is she bringing support or resistance? Is she adding value or draining value? These questions change your perspective because they place you back in control. Many men live as though they are constantly being evaluated, constantly trying to prove themselves worthy. A man who knows his worth understands that he is evaluating too. He is observing. He is paying attention. He is deciding who deserves access to his time and commitment. This creates a quiet confidence that cannot be faked. It comes from knowing that your future does not depend on any one person's approval. It comes from knowing that even if she leaves, you remain. Your goals remain. Your purpose remains. Your opportunities remain. Your life remains. And because of that, you stop acting from fear. You start acting from strength. You become more disciplined, more focused, and more intentional. You invest in your growth instead of chasing validation. You build a life that makes you proud, regardless of who stays and who leaves. That is when everything changes. That is when you stop being controlled by circumstances. That is when people begin treating you differently. Not because you demand respect, but because you finally believe you deserve it. And when a man truly knows his worth, he no longer spends his life trying to be chosen. He chooses himself first, and that decision transforms everything. Number 3, stop chasing people. Every time you chase someone who is pulling away, you slowly abandon your own value in the process. Many men spend months and even years running after attention that is never freely given, convincing themselves that one more message, one more conversation, one more act of loyalty, or one more sacrifice will finally make her appreciate what she has in front of her. But the harder they run, the less respect they receive. The painful reality is that when someone genuinely wants to be part of your life, they do not need endless convincing. They do not need constant reminders. They do not need you to carry the entire relationship on your shoulders while they contribute little in return. Yet countless men wake up every day trapped in this cycle. She becomes distant, so they increase their effort. She becomes cold, so they become more available. She withdraws attention, so they double their investment. What begins as hope eventually becomes emotional exhaustion. The reason this happens is simple. Deep down, many men become more focused on keeping someone than keeping their self-respect. They become afraid of loss, afraid of being alone, afraid of letting go of a future they imagined in their minds. That fear becomes the chain that keeps them attached to situations that are clearly damaging their peace. The truth is that chasing rarely creates attraction. Chasing communicates that you are willing to ignore your own needs to secure someone else's presence. It tells her that she can offer less while still receiving more. It teaches her that your standards can be lowered whenever she chooses. This is why many men find themselves trapped in one-sided situations where they give everything and receive very little. They believe effort alone can overcome a lack of genuine desire. They believe loyalty can compensate for disrespect. They believe patience can transform someone who continuously takes them for granted. But life keeps teaching the same lesson. You cannot force appreciation. You cannot negotiate genuine interest. You cannot earn respect by abandoning your own boundaries. The stronger path is learning to let people reveal who they are without interfering. Pay attention to actions. Pay attention to consistency. Pay attention to effort. Stop listening only to promises. Stop becoming attached to potential. Stop becoming addicted to who she could be someday while ignoring who she is today. This shift changes everything because it returns your focus to what you can actually control. Instead of chasing people, you begin building yourself. Instead of obsessing over who is leaving, you become obsessed with growth. Your fitness improves, your finances improve, your confidence improves, your discipline improves, your future improves. Suddenly, the energy that was once spent chasing someone else's attention becomes fuel for your own transformation. This is where true freedom begins. The moment you stop chasing, you start observing. The moment you stop pursuing validation, you start recognizing your own value. The moment you stop running after people who are uncertain about you, you create space for people who genuinely appreciate you. Many men are one decision away from changing their lives. The decision is not to chase harder. The decision is to stop chasing altogether. Let people choose. Let people leave if they want to leave. Let people reveal their priorities. Your job is not to force connection. Your job is to protect your dignity. The irony is that when a man no longer chases, he becomes more attractive, not because he is playing games, but because he finally understands that his worth does not depend on being wanted by someone else. He stands on his own feet. He respects himself. He values his time. He values his attention. And when a man reaches that point, he no longer begs for a place in someone's life, because he knows his life already has value with or without them. If you are ready to stop chasing people and start building the kind of self-respect that changes every area of your life: the Stoic relationship. Blueprint ebook for men is linked in the comments below, filled with timeless principles that help you stay calm under pressure, set stronger boundaries, break free from emotional dependence, and become the man who never loses himself for anyone again. And because this knowledge is yours forever, you can return to it whenever life tests you, whenever you need guidance, or whenever you need a reminder of the man you are becoming. It is now available in audiobook format as well, so you can listen while taking a walk, driving, exercising, or jogging. And if you want to go even deeper, the Stoic relationship. Blueprint course for men is launching in the coming weeks. So comment Blueprint below to get early access and take the first step toward a stronger, calmer, and more respected version of yourself. Number 4. Choose yourself first. The hardest lesson many men learn is that nobody is coming to save them from the consequences of neglecting themselves. For years, they put everyone else first. They put her first. They put her emotions first. They put her needs first. They put her comfort first. They make sacrifices that nobody asks for and give more than they can afford to give, believing that being selfless will eventually earn love, loyalty, and respect. Instead, they often wake up one day emotionally drained, physically exhausted, financially behind, and disconnected from the man they once wanted to become. The uncomfortable truth is that many people benefit when you constantly place yourself last. She benefits when your world revolves around her. She benefits when your schedule changes according to her needs. She benefits when your goals become secondary to her demands. Yet while you are busy prioritizing everyone else, your own dreams sit untouched. Your potential remains undeveloped. Your purpose becomes weaker. Then one day reality arrives. The relationship changes. The attention disappears. The appreciation never comes. Suddenly you are left facing a painful question. What have you built for yourself? This is where everything must change. Choosing yourself first is not selfish, it is necessary. It means understanding that your life deserves your full commitment. It means realizing that your purpose should never be abandoned to gain someone else's approval. It means waking up every day and investing in your own growth before seeking validation from anyone else. A man who chooses himself first develops a different mindset. He still cares about people. He still values relationships. He still gives generously when it is deserved. But he never sacrifices his identity in the process. He understands that nobody respects a man who constantly abandons himself. He understands that strength comes from having standards and honoring them consistently. He understands that discipline creates freedom. This perspective transforms the way you move through life. Instead of asking what you can do to keep her interested, you start asking what you can do to become stronger. Instead of wondering how to gain more attention, you focus on becoming more capable. Instead of seeking approval, you pursue excellence. Every day becomes an opportunity to improve your body, sharpen your mind, strengthen your finances, expand your skills, and build a future that excites you. This creates confidence that cannot be taken away because it is built on real accomplishments rather than temporary validation. Many men spend years chasing external rewards while neglecting the internal foundation that makes those rewards meaningful. They want respect without discipline. They want confidence without growth. They want results without sacrifice. Life does not work that way. Growth requires commitment. Strength requires effort. Self-respect requires action. The beautiful thing is that the moment you start choosing yourself, your entire outlook changes. You stop tolerating situations that damage your peace. You stop accepting treatment that contradicts your standards. You stop giving endless chances to people who repeatedly disappoint you. You become more selective, more intentional, more focused. your life gains direction. Your decisions become clearer. Your future becomes brighter. This is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming strong enough to stop abandoning yourself for people who would never do the same for you. The man who chooses himself first does not become selfish. He becomes responsible. He becomes disciplined. He becomes capable. And as his life improves, he discovers something powerful. The respect he spent years searching for from others begins with the way he treats himself. Number 5. Walk away calmly. Nothing reveals a man's strength more than his ability to leave what no longer serves him without creating unnecessary chaos. Many men remain trapped in unhealthy situations because they believe endurance alone is a virtue. They stay when respect disappears. They stay when trust weakens. They stay when effort becomes one-sided. They stay long after their instincts tell them something is wrong. The reason is simple. Walking away forces a man to confront uncertainty. It forces him to face loneliness, disappointment, and the collapse of expectations he once held for the future. Yet staying in situations that repeatedly damage your peace carries a far greater cost. Every day you remain where you are not valued, you slowly convince yourself that this is the treatment you deserve. Every day you tolerate disrespect, your standards weaken. Every day you ignore reality, your confidence erodes. This is why the ability to walk away is one of the greatest forms of self-respect a man can develop. It is not about anger. It is not about revenge. It is not about proving a point. It is about recognizing when something is costing more than it is giving and having the courage to act accordingly. Many women expect endless tolerance because they have become accustomed to men who refuse to leave. She assumes that no matter how she behaves, you will remain available. She assumes your fear of losing her is greater than your respect for yourself. That assumption disappears the moment you become willing to leave. The moment a man truly understands his value, he no longer negotiates with behavior that repeatedly violates his standards. He stops explaining. He stops arguing. He stops trying to force understanding. Instead, he quietly steps back and allows reality to speak for itself. This approach is powerful because it places your focus where it belongs, on your actions rather than her reactions. Too many men become obsessed with changing someone's behavior. They spend months searching for the perfect words, the perfect strategy, the perfect response. Meanwhile, the answer has been in front of them all along. Sometimes the strongest response is simply leaving, not because you hate someone, not because you wish them harm, but because your peace matters, your future matters, your dignity matters. Walking away calmly requires emotional control. It requires resisting the urge to seek closure from people who may never provide it. It requires accepting that not everyone will understand your decision. It requires understanding that your responsibility is not to make everyone happy. Your responsibility is to protect the quality of your life. The men who master this principle become incredibly resilient. They stop fearing loss because they understand that losing themselves is far worse. They stop clinging to people because they know abundance exists beyond any single relationship. They stop settling because they know their standards have value. As a result, they move through life with greater confidence and clarity. They become less reactive, less desperate, less dependent on external approval. Their sense of worth comes from within. That is why they can leave calmly. They know their future does not end because one person exits their life. Their mission continues. Their growth continues. Their opportunities continue. Their purpose continues. And that realization changes everything. The day you become willing to walk away from what consistently damages your peace is the day you stop living from fear and start living from strength. That is the day you take back control of your life. The truth is that many men spend their entire lives searching for answers that could have saved them years of confusion, disappointment, and self-betrayal, which is why the Stoic Relationship Blueprint ebook for men is linked in the comments below, filled with timeless principles that can transform your life immediately, and now available in audiobook format, so you can listen while taking a walk, driving, training, or jogging. And because this knowledge becomes yours forever, you can return to it whenever life tests you. While the Stoic Relationship Blueprint course, built from more than 2,000 years of proven principles that have stood the test of time, launches in the coming weeks to help you apply these lessons directly to your life and relationships. If you are ready to stop giving your power away and become the man you were meant to be, comment "I choose myself" below, like this video, and subscribe to help more men discover these truths that so few are taught before regret teaches them the hard way. Thank you for being a part of Stoic Life and for committing to growth, reflection, and mastery. This video is made for educational and entertainment purposes only. Topics may include Stoicism, self-improvement, dating psychology, relationship advice, breakup recovery, emotional intelligence, self-respect, masculine mindset, and personal growth. Some content may contain AI-generated voice, script, visuals, or editing assistance. Our goal is never to mislead or spread false information. The content is intended to inspire confidence, emotional control, mental strength, healthier relationships, and positive self-development. Please use your own judgment and seek professional advice when needed.